Hi, God bless everyone. So, before I get into this dream, I feel led to make this statement. I released a dream earlier about the Olympics, and for some reason, I couldn't find the original. And that could mean that I deleted the original for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, in the dream, it was like a warning because they was trying to force people to get the mark of the beast before they could send them home. And somebody sent me a video about people who didn't have the mark of the beast. And I have to be invasive about what I mean by mark of the beast. It's something that a lot of people are getting right now that they think is going to help them. Anyway, these people didn't have it. And they was making videos talking about how China was keeping them in seclusion and keeping them where they couldn't leave out. Quarantine, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Keeping them in quarantine. A lot of them was saying how they was really hungry and they wouldn't let them leave, wouldn't let them go home. And they was really complaining. And that happened in real life. Somebody sent me a video of it. I meant to share that video in a community post. It completely skipped my mind. So that did happen. And I will put that video in the description box for anyone who wants to see it. Anyway, let me get into this dream. In this dream, it was a very pleasant dream. I was really happy throughout this dream. And I was in some world. I don't know where this world was. I don't think it was on this earth because it didn't look like anything I've ever seen on this earth. It felt like it was another dimension, but the dream didn't actually announce to me that it was another dimension. Anyway, there was these massive, massive homes, big, giant, massive homes. And actually, the more I think about it, I could have been way back in the past too. And I was in some kind of world. The people looked Japanese to me. Yeah, I might have been back in time. I don't know. Way, way back in time. But these people had these massive, massive homes. The rich. They just had these massive, massive homes. And I had a knowing that it was some people that was poor too. That was like servants. But I didn't see how they lived. And I was just going around looking at these big, giant, massive homes, massive mansion homes. And it was very beautiful. And some of them had greenery growing on the bottom of them. You know, I forget the name of that plant, which I should remember since I have it on my house. But it's a plant that grows up on the house. But with my house, I always cut it down to keep it from growing on the house. And some of the houses had that. And it was just big and massive homes. I mean, way bigger than mansions I've seen. I've been in many mansions. I was a chemical engineer. I lived this life with a lot of, people that had big, giant mansion homes. And I used to date celebrities. And I don't talk about that much because I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. But the only reason I'm saying it right now is because it is relevant to my experience. I don't want people thinking, I don't know anything about mansions. I've been in castles, many times. I've been in really big, massive castles and things like that. And I guess this is similar to a castle, but it looked bigger than the castles even on this earth. And it was homes. The dream said it was different people's homes, and it was just massive. And so anyway, there was this building that was really, really tall, and it was some kind of corporation. And I just went in there because I was just in this world looking around. So I went into this building just looking around, and it was this massive, massive corporation, and like not a home, but a corporation. And when I walked in there, these people thought that I worked there. And it was like, come on, we got to hurry up and get to work. They thought I was one of the workers. I don't know. And so the guy, knowing it's my first day, I guess, he was showing me all around this place. He was an older Japanese man, and he was wearing a uniform. Like, how can I say it? He was dressed almost like what we would call a butler, but not like a butler. But that's the best way I can explain it. Like, he was to serve, but he was like the head person in charge of all the servants. And he worked with the prince. Thank you, Jesus. I almost forgot the name of this guy. There was a prince who was over this corporation, and his rooms was all the way at the top. It was this big building, and his rooms was all the way at the top. And he took up, I don't know how many floors for his different rooms and everything. And the guy was just showing me around, and he thought that I was there to service the prince, to work with the prince. And in the dream, I saw a vision of this prince. He was definitely Japanese, and they was sitting on the floor. You know how like Japanese people sit on the floor. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just waking up. If I sound like I'm out of it, because I record when I'm first waking up, and sometimes I struggle to even think straight. But anyway, he was sitting down, and I saw him with a room of people that was sitting, you know, at the tables and little cups of tea, and they was doing business. I saw him doing business, and he was the head person in charge, and he was some kind of prince. And this was definitely not heaven, and it didn't look like heaven. But the homes was really big and nice, and it was very beautiful. Imagine like a real beautiful place on the earth back in the day, because the earth is getting uglier and uglier. But that's another story. Anyway, so I saw a quick vision of that, and I had no desire to go up to see this prince. When I saw the vision, I knew that he was not right with God. And I said, I have no desire to go up there to see him. So I tried to avoid it. I wanted to ask the guy, could I work with something else? Because I didn't want to work with this prince. But I didn't say anything. And he just kept showing me all around the place. He was giving me a tour. And it was all these different office rooms and things like that in the building. And the corridor, when you first came in, was really nice. You know, you could just look up and see different offices. When you know, some buildings you walk into them and you don't see much of anything. But some buildings you walk into and you can look up and you can see like different people's rooms. And it's hard to explain. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Like they have this opening and you can see the elevator and you see the opening. And so it was similar to that. Anyway, he took me up and was showing me all around. And even the office buildings and everything, they look Japanese. And then he took me all the way up to the top where this prince was. And I was supposed to work with the prince, whatever my job was. And the prince wasn't there. He had stepped away. And he said, oh, he stepped away. And he was showing me his rooms. He had multiple different rooms. And they were very elaborate. And I noticed how there was gold carvings on things. Seriously, I don't think people live like that today. Not like this. I mean, I've been to Trump Towers and they say it's like gold plated or something. No. No, not like this. Not like this gold. This was like thick gold. It looked real gold, not no plated stuff. And it was, you know, very elaborate. All the gold that he had in this place and all this kind of stuff. And he wasn't there. He had went away. And it felt like he went to play some kind of sport or something. It felt like he went to do some kind of sport or something like that. I don't know. Like exercise. It could be exercise. And we was just looking around his room because the guy was telling me that he went away. He knew he had went away. Then this man with no shirt on came walking out of the place they had the shower. He had his pants on and he didn't look Japanese. He looked Caucasian, but he was tanned. He had like some kind of tan or something. So he didn't look like all the way Caucasian, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe mixed. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe mixed with something. The more I think about it, he probably looked mixed with something. Almost mixed with black and Japanese. Because his eyes did have a little bit of a Japanese look to it. Yeah, he was tanned and he had muscles. He was real muscle bound. And he came out the shower area and he didn't know he was in there. And he was trying to hurry up and get himself together so he could leave. Because he was embarrassed that we came walking in there. And when he did that, I looked at him and I had an instant knowing that that prince was homosexual. And he didn't want anybody to know about it. And I said in a dream that he was the last prince that had a human soul that could be saved. I said he's the last prince with a human soul that can be saved. But this is how he's living. It was said I wanted to minister to him, but he wasn't there. So then I just went and left this building. I just left. I didn't stick around to do whatever work this guy was telling me I was supposed to be doing. Because I knew I had a knowing that I was in a dream. And I knew that I was going to be out of the dream soon. So I wanted to hurry up and look around. So I went walking around looking at these giant mansion homes again. I was like, wow, look at this. I can't even explain it. It was just the way that they were. And I saw this one and I knew it was apartment buildings. And even though it was apartment buildings, they had this giant corridor to walk through, and it was really elaborate and beautiful, and it was nice. So I guess that's how the poor people lived in this place. I probably was in another dimension, but I don't know why the dream didn't announce that to me. But anyway, I was going into different buildings, and I saw this one building, and they was some kind of place that serviced people. They was selling like jewelry and stuff like that, and I didn't want to focus on anything too much. I had a knowing in the dream, if I focus on something, it'll take me out of the dream, and I didn't want to leave the dream. So I was trying not to focus on anything. So I was like scanning the room real fast, and I felt myself almost about to leave out the dream. So I hurried up and left out of there because there was just so many shiny things that I could look at. So I was like, oh no, let me get out of here. And so then I went walking down the block and just looking at the massive homes again. And then all of a sudden I was taken out of the dream. And it was interesting because I was taken out real slowly. And the dream just was getting darker and darker as I was taken out of it. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm waking up now. But anyway, it was a very pleasant dream, very fun dream. It was just a really great dream. Sabbath this tonight. This guy in this dream was just a prince, like a regular prince. He wasn't saved at all. And he was worshiping different gods. I forgot to mention that. I was shown that in a dream. They had all these different gods and stuff. So I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, I don't feel glad to post it right now, but if I feel any unction to post it, I will. But in the meantime, I will be praying for this person if they are a real person, whether they're in this dimension or another dimension. I will pray for them. And that was a dream.